and welcome to the Fireside Chat. I'm Kalpana Singhal, Editor-in-Chief CXO TV, and now we have Ashwini Pandey as our guest today. Ashwini has been CISO of erstwhile Oriental Bank of Commerce, which recently has got amalgamated with Punjab National Bank. Welcome, Ashwini. Please introduce yourself to the CXO TV audience.
As Kalpana said, I am Ashwini Pandey, and yes, I've been working as CISO for Oriental Bank of Commerce, and basically, qualification-wise or education-wise, I would say I am a computer engineering graduate. I joined this Oriental Bank of Commerce some 20 years ago, and from that time I'm into this bank only, and rising from the level of IT manager to the CISO. So that's a brief about me. I've been passionate about cybersecurity, so I went on to acquire several certifications in that field, and that is helping me a lot in this field. So that's a brief about me.
Okay. So what are your exact roles and responsibilities as CISO of Oriental Bank of Commerce? And now with the merger of PNB, OBC, and UBI, how are these responsibilities getting realigned?
I was saying that responsibilities of any CISO, it has grown multifold in last couple of years, and I'm also no exception to this. And you have to the CISOs nowadays, they have been involved in several aspects of the business in every company, in fact. And apart from you doing regular things, you've also made to attend so many meetings. And the main purpose of attending those meetings is nothing but to ensure that the cyber security aspects are properly taken care of in those meetings. So that's the basic things which every CISO has to do. But if I have to enumerate my responsibilities amongst all these things, so primarily I am responsible for articulating the cyber security policy of the bank. I'm also responsible for this articulating cyber crisis management. Apart from that, since SOC team is also reporting to me, so tweaking with the policies of those what do you call those equipments and those tools, the policies set there. They're also my responsibility. In fact, I'm assisting the team there. And another aspect, another very important aspect, is to create awareness amongst all my stakeholders. These stakeholders may be my top management board members or my colleagues. So this is also one of my part of my duty. I have also to interface between the top management and the regular colleagues, interfacing with outside agencies. So these are basically some of the responsibilities I'm currently taking care of.
So how are the roles of CIO and CISO aligned at Oriental Bank of Commerce?
Well, see, CIO and CISOs, they are clearly marked two different positions in my bank. So CIO, or we call it CTO also. So CIO or CTO, he's reporting to a different executive director, and me as CISO, I am reporting to a different executive director, so that there's no conflict of interest is there. So it is clearly a defined thing. Yes, of course, as a matter of governance, I am having a dotted relationship with the CIO, and that is for this entire IT area is very pervasive. It has gone into every sphere, and CISO's job is also 90% it's going to be IT related. So for taking care of those things, dotted relationship is there. It is clearly marked roles and responsibilities.
Yeah. So what are the key technology solutions used by Oriental Bank of Commerce, and what are their use cases? And also, if you can highlight the digital transformation journey for your bank.
If we talk about technology solutions, there has been plenty of solutions, in the different verticals of the bank. As a commercial bank, we are having different departments and different verticals. So for every vertical, we have got different technology solutions. But the main business of bank is banking, and for banking part, we are using the Finacle for banking solution. So this basically has been the technology solution for the bank, I would say. I would not like to name all those solutions here in this thing. And on the technology part, I would also say that Oriental Bank of Commerce has been pioneering what you call this going for zero data loss in the year 2005 to 2006 when we actually initially started the implementation of core banking solutions. That time probably we were the first to implement the zero data loss concept. So this has been, I think, the important technology solutions. If we move away from this banking part, and if we come to the security part, security like any other company, I mean, the solutions which are expected to be there in any of the SOC, SIM, network access control, network behavior analysis, all those type of solutions, firewalls, IPS, IDS. So these are the typical solutions which we are having here in our bank.
Right. So when we say the digital transformation journey, can you just name some of your partners who have been the support system behind this journey, the technology solution
Right.
provider? Yeah.
See, actually, we are being assisted by Wipro from the initial time. They have been our system integration and integrators for the banking portion. And when we come to our security portion, well, in security we have earlier we were having HCL, now we are having SIFI. So they keep on changing. Banking policies, they prohibit us from having a single partner for a long time. So
Okay.
we keep on changing those partners.
Right. Right. So what are the milestones in the security journey of the core banking system at your bank?
20 years back when I joined the bank, uh, the security scenario was that having a user ID and password was considered to be a very safe option. But with the passage of time and as other applications started evolving around my core banking system, what actually happened is that that particular thing is proving to be inefficient, proving to be incomplete. To complement those things, we have also, like other companies, we have gone into for security having this multi-factor authentication for at least user parts. Apart from that, as milestone, we have implemented, we have deployed the security operations center, which is equipped with all these latest technologies, SIM, network access control, network behavior analysis, privileged identity management. So these things are there, which earlier was not there. Coming on the security, I mean, part only, certifications also have played important part, and from year 2010, we are ISO 27001 certified also on the security. So that is also giving what you call extra, I mean, confidence to my customers that yes, their transactions, they are in the safe hands. So this such type of confidence I think we are having.
Right, right. So that was the overall security posture at Oriental
Yeah,
Bank. And
yeah.
how is integration of the security system of OBC with Punjab National Bank?
Integration process is still going on. And actually, the amalgamation took place from the 1st of April. And fortunately or unfortunately, at that time, pandemic was at its peak, or in fact, it was reaching its peak. So all the movement of either people or my partners, it was all completely restricted, and we got a bit slow. But since this process was already started last year itself, what we had done that time was we had formed, I think, more than 30 task force committees, and these committees were what they were doing. They were drawn from different verticals of the banking, and I mean, the committee members, they were drawn from all the three banks to have a complete synergy. So, those committees, they actually formulated the roadmaps, and according to roadmaps, the work had to start. But somehow, because of pandemic, work could not be completed. It is still going on, and I think in another 5-6 months it will get completed. And so far, since the work is already well thought of, the roadmap, the blueprint is already ready. So till now, it's fine. And I hope in the next 5-6 months it will be completed.
So how can digital technologies help bank counters challenges like NPAs and liquidity crisis in the current pandemic situation?
On this front, for any company which is, having a good technology, they are going to benefited by this. But we have to see, you just spoke or you just asked about how digital technology is going to help in all these things. See, due to the problem of either NPA or liquidity crisis whatsoever, the crux of the crux of solving any problem, in my opinion, is to just first of all let us recognize that there's a problem, and how I would recognize if I'm having some sort of early warning signal into that. Okay, so this thing is going to happen. So technology can, yes, certainly it can help you a lot in a big way in deciding these things. If you've got a good MIS system, if you've got a good core banking system, if I talk of bank, and a good data warehouse, then certainly these technologies is going to help you in uh, counting these two attacks. I mean, these challenges and all other challenges also. And if I take example of my bank, yes, we are having good MIS. We are, the deployment of data warehouse, it's already, in the midway. So we are on the right path from the Oriental Bank point.
So with a sizable workforce doing work from home, how are you ensuring that security is not compromised in the current scenario?
Definite way of doing this. First of all, what you have to, ensure the people who are working from home, I have to ensure that their endpoints are, as secure as my corporate inside endpoints are. So in order to do that, what we have done, we have tried to, harden the endpoints as per our company policy, as per our bank's policy. We tried to, we forced those stakeholders to have latest antivirus and patches as per our company policy. We try to, integrate them with our privilege identity management, so that whenever if they are coming to my network, their activities can be logged. We allowed only the minimum access to them, so they can perform only the things which are required to them. We did not provide them excess access, and I mean, because of these things, we were able to safeguard our interest both from their point of view and from the bank's point of view also. Until now, your touchwood journey has been fantastic on the work from home front.
So how is the IT team now structured at Oriental Bank of Commerce post the merger with PNB and UBI? And how do the three teams ensure complete synergy with each other?
There were several task force committees, and the purpose of those task force committees was just to have people from all three banks, so that they can from the day one start feeling of oneness, and they can have synergy amongst them while discussing what to take forward, what not to take forward, and all those things. But since the entire amalgamation, the entire integration of the entire security or IT stack is pending for this COVID-19 pandemic, they are still working from their respective locations. Yes, the integration process is going on. Once the integration process is completed, then certainly they will be moved into a single. If I talk of synergy, yes, because of being in the task force committees and regular meetings with them, synergy is very good for them. IT teams are they are still working from their respective places in Gurgaon, Delhi, and Kolkata. And let's see, in 5-6 months, I think I will be able to complete the integration and move on.
Finally, would you like to give some kind of a message to the fintech community?
In the banking, at least community or fintech community, they have got a very good chance of developing the things for banking community. Banking community, they are coming up like anything as far as embracing the technology is concerned. So yes, they have got a good future for doing something or doing still even more things for the banking community. Please come up.
So thank you, Ashwini. It was a complete pleasure interacting with you. And I'm glad to inform our viewers that we are starting with hashtag Digital Disruptive series at CXO TV. So please follow hashtag CXO TV and hashtag Digital Disruptors. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashwini. Stay tuned to our social media channels. Stay safe and take care.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.